morning and welcome to Your Bridge to Addiction Resources, a program that is sponsored and hosted by the Council on Chemical Abuse. My name is Yvonne Stroman. I'm the Community Program Specialist at the Council on Chemical Abuse, and today we have a very special guest with us. I'm going to ask that he introduce himself and give us a little background about what he does within the community and the importance of his role in Berks County. So good morning.
Good morning. My name is Phil Bennett. I am a certified recovery specialist. I'm also a person in long-term recovery. And for me, that means since November 10th of 2012, I have not had the need to use a mind or mood altering chemical.
So you mentioned that you're certified recovery specialist, and where is that? Are you working right now?
Yes, I currently work at Easy Does It over on Walnut Street.
Okay.
We have two locations. One is 1300 Hilltop Road in Leesport, and that's our larger facility. Up there we house 50 residents, 30 men and 20 women. And then at my Walnut Street facility, I house 4 women and 6 men.
Okay. And what is your day-to-day responsibilities, Phil? What is your role there?
I am a case manager.
Okay.
What I do is, what our program does is we offer intensive case management. And what that looks like is we work one-on-one with each client, and we get them plugged into mental health services, physical health services, intensive outpatient, and we also help guide them through their recovery process, because everyone who works at Easy Does It is in recovery. So we've been there. We know the struggles that they're going through for early recovery, and it gives them the chance to build a solid foundation before entering the real world, so to speak.
Okay. And so individuals that come to you, they come from where? Do they come from hospitals? Do they come from the jail? Where do they come from?
We actually do outreach for homeless people.
Okay.
Where some people live at City Lights or the Hope Rescue Mission, and we do some outreach there. We also take clients from various treatment centers around the state, and that we've actually started receiving applications from people from New Jersey, California, people who have lived in Berks County and went away for treatment and want to come back to Berks County. And we also work with the criminal justice system.
Okay.
Everyone deserves a second or third chance at life, and they're a really special population. They're one of the most misunderstood but most genuine population. I thoroughly enjoy working with my people who are involved in the criminal justice system.
So when you say usually they're misunderstood, can you kind of talk about that?
The public's persona or perception of someone who is involved in the criminal justice system due to their active addiction is not very good. The perception is that they're all liars, thieves, cheats. The stereotypical drug addict that you see on television, and take away the drugs, take away the alcohol, and let them start to work on themselves. They're genuine artists, writers. They're just beautiful people on the inside, and it takes someone who is understanding to get that out of them.
Yeah. And well, it sounds like you're the person to do that. And so let me ask you this then: what does a typical day look like for somebody that comes into Easy Does It, and what could they expect to receive?
Actually, I can use my own experience because I had in December 2012. I actually moved into Easy Does It, and what I had started on doing was, I had this plan. 6 months, I'm moving out, and as I started doing some work on myself, so like in a normal day, we do a daily meditation where we kind of get ourselves spiritually centered for the day. And then from there, some people go to work. I was fortunate enough to get a job early in my recovery stay there. I met with my case manager, who is now my boss, which is a really great relationship that him and I have. But what we do is There's meetings that we attend in-house, life skills groups, budgeting, how to balance a checkbook, cooking life skills, things like that most people, we might have an idea but never actually was empowered to utilize those skills. And then we go out to our 12-step fellowship of choice, whether that be AA, NA, SLAA, whatever 12-step fellowship you feel comfortable working with. And that's one of the great things. We empower our clients, our residents, to guide their own recovery. We're just kind of there as bumpers.
Okay, I like that.
And then our intensive case management, what that looks like is we set goals for our clients that they have a lot of input on. One of the goals, a lot of our clients come in without an education, without a high school diploma. So we get them connected with the Literacy Council or RAC in order to get their GED. Because once they, that there's a sense of accomplishment that they have when they have that piece of paper. And being able to guide them through that on a day-to-day basis, help them with their basic reading and writing skills, memory retention skills. For me, it's very fulfilling.
Okay, so and I hear that. And so, what are some of the things that? How is this role? Because you've changed now. You've gone from a resident to now a case manager. So it's kind of like you're on the other side of things. How has this helped you personally and professionally, the role that you're in now?
One of the things of going from a resident is I understand where they are. I'm able to remember what it was like sitting on that side of the desk, broken, not knowing what direction to go, and I can share my experience when life shows up. On what I did to make it through at that time, what was a tragedy. And here I find out it's just life showing up. But how to make it through without using, building that support network, utilizing that support network, and just being able to, that empathy of I know where they are.
Yeah.
And I can, like I said, I can share that experience that I've been there. Yeah. And it's going to be okay.
That's great. That's wonderful. So an individual staying at Easy Does It, how is there a cost? Is there a fee associated with their residency?
What we do is we have an agreement with Housing for Urban Development.
Okay.
Our residents, once they find employment, they pay 30% of their adjusted wage. Okay. And that's their rent. And then depending on what facility they're in the Hilltop facility, because it's a larger facility, we ask that they all chip in $20 for food. Okay. Because it is a larger community. Sure. And at my Walnut Street facility, we ask that they chip in $20 a month as opposed to a week. Okay. So it's a little slightly different. Because my Walnut Street facility is in the city, there's greater access to public transportation. However, my Hilltop facility, we do have program vans, and there is a small fee for transportation to and from work. However, we will transport you to doctor's appointments and outpatient at no charge. Okay. So there are services that you're providing to help really support the efforts that they're trying to do to rebuild their life. Correct. And what that does is it allows them to be an adult maybe for the first time in their life, because I know when I was out there in my active addiction, my bills came last. Yeah. And we're teaching them those basic life skills. Responsibilities and being accountable. Yes. Yeah, yeah. And I also know that, I know this because, as part of the Council on Chemical Abuse, for those that are living in Berks County, there is, if someone is not working and they don't have any income, the Council on Chemical Abuse provides some public funds as part of their case management. Correct. And actually that was, I was funded through the Council on Chemical Abuse for approximately my first month and a half, because I was actually an outside a Berks County transplant.
Okay.
I came from Schuylkill County because nobody kind of wanted me, after treatment, and I received the funding through COCA to, get my feet wet in the recovery process in the Berks County area, and
That's
I couldn't be happier.
That's wonderful. So, talk a little bit about your motivation to do this work, because you're right in terms of saying I was a resident there and now I'm working there, but that's not necessarily everyone's path. I think it takes a special person to want to give back in this capacity. And so, what inspired you to say, or to answer that calling? I need to do something to help others.
Actually, since I was 23, I worked in corporate America, and it wasn't fulfilling. My spirit wasn't, it wasn't being full. And I had spoken with several people who worked in the recovery community, and they said, get in the trenches, work with the people who struggle day to day. And I took a leap of faith. And my higher power has my back, and I know that someone took a risk on me, and it's to take a risk on someone that doesn't believe in themselves and able to help them look at themselves in the mirror on a day-to-day basis and just know that someone believed in me, and I believe in them like someone believed in me. And the person who believes in me, someone believed in them. So it's just passing that forward, because that's truly what recovery work is. We help people who don't believe in themselves.
Yeah. So as we kind of come to a close with our conversation, I wanted to ask you before we leave, is there anything that we've left on the table that's not been said? What is the one thing that you would like to depart this conversation with as it relates to the work that you're doing in the community?
Well, one of the things that is exciting about the recovery field, it's always evolving. We're kind of working on something new and Easy Does It, because there's one problem with the kind of work we do, and it's the funding that we get from the government. 29, 30 years ago, a treatment stay could be like 90 days, 120 days, and now 28 days you're out. And that's where programs like Easy Does It are so important, because it gives them that time to get that solid base underneath them. It gives them the time to get a solid foundation, to get plugged into the recovery community, and to just get that support for a successful life of recovery. The work we do is it's thankless immediately, but 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, when you see that person living a life of recovery, long-term continuous recovery, that's when it hits home. And knowing that I had a little part in that.
That's awesome. Is there a website or a phone number that individuals can call to get more information about Easy Does It, or find out more about the housing program?
Yes, actually, all the information is on the website, including our application, and that's at www.easydoesit.com. I'm sorry, www.easydoesitinc.com. And all the information's there. Like I said, the application, the phone number, information about both recovery communities and our locations, and I believe there is a link to the COCA website from there.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, just head over to our website.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, Phil, and it's always a pleasure to see you. And I just am inspired by the work that you do, and thank you for joining us to really talk about helping others and giving back. And that's really how the world turns, is that in order to keep what you have, you really have to give it away and reach out and help others. And so thank you for that. And as we wrap up this series, I want to invite you, if you have more questions or want to know more about the Council on Chemical Abuse, I invite you to look at our website, which is at www.cocaberks.org. That's COCABERKS.org, or call us at 610-376-8669. This is your Bridge to Addiction Resources. We thank you for joining us. Thanks.
Check back every week for a new story with your Bridge to Addiction Resources. You can call 610-376-8669 or visit online at cocaberks.org. COCABERKS.org. Be sure to like and follow the Council on Chemical Abuse on Facebook and Twitter.